Hello everyone, we will make the multi-area OSPF configuration together with you in this lesson. Let's start by looking at our lab topology. We use area 0 in the local network on the yellow side of router 1, the gigabit 0/0 and gigabit 0 to 1 interfaces of router 1 are in area 23. The blue side of router 1 is in area 4, now we can start our configuration. When configuring OSPF, it would be more practical to do it under the interface. Let's not bother with going under the router OSPF command and writing the network command. Let our router OSPF process number be 1. I make the router ID of this place big so that it is a designated router. Now let's go under interface. First let's do interface loopback 0. Our command is IP OSPF process ID 1, our loopback interfaces here are in area 0. Likewise, I take loopback 1 to area 0. I exit and enter interface gigabit 0/0. This interface is in area 23. Let's do gigabit 0 to 1, which will also be area 23. I exit and switch to interface gigabit 0/2, which will have an OSPF process ID of 1 and an area of 4. I quit by typing end, now I switch to router 2. Let the router OSPF, our process ID be 1, and the router ID be 2. I go under interface by exiting, let's do interface loopback 0 first. I write IP OSPF 1 area 23. Let's make interface gigabit 0/0 the same way. Now let's go to router 3. Here I write router OSPF 1. Let the router ID be 33. I log out and switch to interfaces. Interface loopback 0. I write IP OSPF 1 area 23. I took the router 3 interfaces to area 23. Now let's move on to router 4. Here we activate OSPF by typing router OSPF 1, and here we make our router ID 44. Let's enable OSPF under interfaces by exiting. IP OSPF will be process ID 1, area will be 4. Let's do the same with interface gigabit 0/0. Now let's look at router 1. Let's look at the neighbor situations by typing show IP OSPF neighbor. We have established a connection with router 2 and router 4 and we have not yet established a connection with router 3. Let's check the settings of router 3. Here I guess we have not made the interfaces, let's check it immediately with show run. Neighborliness was not established because we did not enable OSPF under interface gigabit 0/0, now let's set it up here. I get out of here by typing IP OSPF 1 area 23. Now I come back to router 1, and now we have a connection to router 3. When we look at it from router 1, it sees all its neighbors as BDR, and it has become a DR itself. Let's look at it from router 2. Let's write show IP OSPF neighbor. It shows that a neighbor is established between router 2 and router 1, 55 in the neighbor's router ID. Since router 1's ID is large, it became a DR router. Now let's check the route table on router 1. Let's look at the routes we learned only from OSPF by typing show IP route OSPF. Router 1 already knows the networks that are on it, knows the 10.1.12.0, 10.1.13.0 and 10.1.14.0 subnets, but he did not know the 3 subnets here. He learned these subnets through the routers here. Let's look at it with the show IP protocols command. Here it shows that our process ID is 1, our router ID is 55, and here it shows our neighboring gateways. Now let's use the show IP OSPF interface command, where we can't look at it because Packet Tracer doesn't support the brief command. We can check it by typing the interface number here. When we look at gigabit 0/0, here it shows the interface address, OSPF process ID and router ID. The network type shows the cost and the status for this interface is DR. 2 shows 2 as BDR. Now let's look at router 2 as well. The letters IA here mean inter-area. It shows that it learned its 10.1.1 IP from 10.1.12.1, that is, from router 1, and since there is more than one area on router 1, this router becomes an area border router and can share to routers in other areas. Let's look at it with the show IP OSPF command. When we look at it with the show IP OSPF command, we can see the OSPF process ID, the router ID and the area border router of this router. This router is also the backbone area because its interfaces are in different areas. This is how we do the multi-area OSPF configuration. So see you in our next lesson. Goodbye.